Welcome back to another edition of the Horseman Pro Football Talk podcast. Today, we are going to talk about free agents, and I'm Brad.
And I'm Hefe.
All right, man, let's jump right into it. No need to delay. Let's talk about the Super Bowl champions and the gutting that's going on in Kansas City right now. The Kansas City fans should be grateful that they've got a guy who has been around the block about 85 times already that can hold this shit together, because the bleeding's pretty bad right now, isn't it?
Truly, this is going to be another offseason where you see a lot of Chiefs leaving the building. Now, they're keeping a lot of their key guys around. They have 21 guys leaving the building. Now, they were able to get off to a good start in this free agency. You know, we're recording this on the first day of the tampering period on Monday. And so far, they have Jawan Taylor coming in to fill the right tackle spot, coming from the Jags on a 4-year deal, $80 million, $60 million of that guaranteed. It's a very good piece to bring in to help protect Patrick Mahomes. But you look at the guys that are leaving, like the left tackle is probably the most important position on the offensive side. And they have Orlando Brown leaving the building. He didn't get the franchise tag, so he's going to be testing free agency. Obviously, Andrew Wiley, the right tackle, they had to replace him. So he's gone. He's signing with the Commanders. And then, of course, with the Chiefs, with Tyreek Hill being gone, we're always going to say, you know, they have to go get receivers. They're losing Juju Smith-Schuster in this free agency. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. McCall Hardman, also a receiver, leaving in free agency, you know, he basically their kick returner. So they're going to have some things to figure out there. And so, like you said, this is a huge adjustment period. And I feel like it's going to be like this every offseason for the Chiefs, with the way that they have Patrick Mahomes' deal structured and the amount that he's getting paid. Obviously, you have Chris Jones. You would imagine they're going to try to make him retire as a Chief, and he's going to be getting paid a bunch of money forever. So I feel like what we're seeing now is what we're going to see pretty much every offseason from the Chiefs.
Yeah, and it's what happens when you win, right? Everybody wants some of what you have. We've seen it time and time again. When you get a team that wins a Super Bowl, the free agents get paid. That's just the way it works. And but it's so important to have a guy like Andy Reid. That's what I was talking about. You know, Bill Belichick was able year after year after year after year to hold it together. And the longer you get away from that, you look back, it's amazing how he's able to do that. Andy Reid's been able to do the same thing. I have no doubt it'll start a conversation. They'll be like, the Chiefs aren't who they were last year. They may come out and they start, 1-2 or 1-3, and everybody's like, oh, this is it. This is the end of it. And next thing you know, they'll go on a 10-game run and they'll be right back in the AFC Championship. So not a lot to worry about, but certainly a lot to watch here.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you bring that up because, like, if you think about it, a lot of those Patriots teams that were going to Super Bowls, like, that's how they would start the year. And that's why, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady would always talk about, the season doesn't really start until you get to Thanksgiving. And up to that point, they would be 500 a lot. And then they would just go on runs. So, that's something that happens. And I'm sure Andy Reid, and Patrick Mahomes are thinking a lot of the same thing, just figure it out and then turn it on when it matters most. And they've showed that they would be able to do it. You know what I mean? And I think that whatever happens in this free agency, as we're looking at it right now, the last number that I saw for them in salary cap space was $15.18 million. That's updated from the last thing I saw on Spotrac today. And so they don't have a whole lot of wiggle room, especially after getting Jawan Taylor. But a guy that I would be, as a Colts fan, I want the Colts to have the best chance to win. But I think Jordan Poyer is a safety that I really like a lot. And with the Chiefs losing out on Juan Thornhill going into free agency, and Jordan Poyer and where he's at a little bit later in his career, but still being a very good safety, that feels like a guy that could go take a team-friendly deal, still get a decent bag. But the Chiefs are definitely probably going to be pushing to get a guy like Jordan Poyer in the building. That would be a move that I think would push them over the top going into 2023.